Shalom, and welcome back to day 64 of reading the Bible in 52 weeks. Woo! Dear God, thank you so much for today. Please guide me to your word so you can reveal your truth. Amen. Let's go. And today we'll be reading Joshua 19 through 21. The second lot came out for Simon for the tribe of the descendants by their clans. But their inheritance was within the inheritance given to Judah's descendants. Their inheritance included Beersheba, Moladah, Hazashul, Baal, Izam, Elad, Bethel, Hamamah, Ziklag, Beth Marbath, Hazasubath, Beth Labalath, and Sharahin. 13 cities with their settlements: Ain, Rimmon, Ether, Ashan, 4 cities with their settlements, and all the settlements surrounding these cities, as far as the Baalath Beer. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Simon's descendants by their clans. Their inheritance of Simon's descendants was within the territory of Judah's descendants, because the share of Judah's descendants was too large. So Simon's descendants received an inheritance within Judah's portion. The third lot came up from Zebulun's descendants by their clans. The territory of their inheritance stretched as far as the Sarid. Their border went westward of the Maralah, reached Dabasheth, and met the brook east of Jokneam. From Sarid it turned due east along the border of Chisloth Tabor, went to Dabarath, and went up to Japhia. From there it went due east to Gath Heber and to Kazin. It extended to Rimmon, carrying around to Nea. The border then circled around Nea on the north of the Hananoth, and ended at Iphatah El Valley, along with Tatath, Nathan, Shimron, Adalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of Zebulun's descendants by their clans, these cities with their settlements. The fourth lot came out for the tribe of Issachar's descendants by their clans. Their territory went to Jezreel and included Shetaloth, Shunem, Haparathan, Shunan, Anahareth, Rabbit, Kishion, Ebior, Remath, En-Ganan, En-Habadah, and Beth-Pazar. The border reached Tabra, Shamarama, and Beth-Shemash, and ended at the Jordan, 16 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar's descendants by their clans, the cities with their settlements. The fifth lot came out of the tribe of Asher's descendants by their clans. Their boundary included Helkath, Helbatan, Ashaphath, Alamakat, Amadad, and Michelle, and reached westward in Carmel and Shir Libanath. It turned eastward to Beth Dagon, reached Zebulun and Ethaned Valley, east toward Beth Emek and Nil, and went north to Kebul, Ebron, Rabham, Haman, and Canaan, as far as the greater Sidon. The boundary then turned to Rimmon as far as the fortified city of Tyre. It turned back to Hosah and ended at the Mediterranean Sea, including Mahalab, Azarzib, Amak, and Rehab, 22 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Asher's descendants by their clans. These cities was with their settlements. The sixth lot came out of Naphtali's descendants by their clans. Their boundary went from Heliphev and from the oak of Zananim, including Adam, Zebek, and Jebanil, as far as the lake, and ended at the Jordan. To the west, the boundary turned into Aznoth Tabor, and went there to Hukok, reaching Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and Judah the Jordan on the east. The fortified cities were Zidian, Zir, Hamamoth, Rakakath, Shinanreth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazar, Kedesh, Ederi, Ehazar, Aaron, Migdal, Elhorim, Beth-Anthem, and Beth-Shemesh, 19 cities with their settlements. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali's descendants by their clans, and the cities without their descendants. The seventh lot came out of the tribe of Dan's descendants by their clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtal, Shemesh, Shabbabian, Agalon, Ethalan, Elon, Taman, Ekron, Elikah, Gimathon, Baalath, Juhad, Ben Barak, Gath-Ramon, Me-Jakon, and Rechem with the territory facing Joppa. When the territory of the descendants of the Dan slipped out of their control, they went up and fought against Leshem, captured it, and struck it down with the sword. So they took possession of it, lived there, and renamed Leshem after their ancestor Dan. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Dan's descendants by their clans, these cities and their settlements. When they had finished distributing the land into the territories, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them. By the Lord's command, they gave him the city Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, which he requested. He rebuilt the city and lived in it. These were the portions of the priest Eleazar, Joshua son of Nun, and the family heads distributed to the Israelite tribes by the lot of Shalah in the Lord's presence at the entrance of the tent of meeting, so they finished dividing up the land. Then the Lord spoke to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites, select your cities of refuge as I instructed you through Moses, so that a person who kills someone unintentionally or accidentally may flee there. These will be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When someone flees to one of these cities, stands at the entrance of the city gate, and stares his case before the elders of that city, they have to bring him into the city and give him a place to live among them. As if the avenger of blood pursues him, they must not hand the one who committed manslaughter over to him, for he killed his neighbor accidentally and did not hate him beforehand. He is to stay in the city until he stands trial before an assembly, and until the death of the high priest serving at that time. Then the one who has committed manslaughter may return home to his own city for which he fled." So they designed Kedesh in the hill country of the Naphtali of the Galilee, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kidarath-Abra in the hill country of Judah. Across the Jordan east of Jericho, they selected Bezer, the wilderness plateau from Reuben's tribe, Ramath and Gilead from Gad's tribe, and Golan and Bashan from the Manasseh tribe. These are the cities appointed for all the Israelites and the aliens residing with them, so that anyone who kills a person intentionally may flee there and not die of the land in the hand of the avenger of the blood until he stands before the assembly. The Levite family heads approached the priest Eleazar, Joshua son of Nun, and the family heads of the Israelite tribes at Shalah in the land of Canaan. They told them, "The Lord commanded through Moses that he be given cities to live in, with their pasture lands for their livestock. So does the Israelites, by the Lord's command, gave the Levites these cities of their pasture lands from their inheritance. The lot came of the Kohathite clans. The Levites were in the descendants of the priest. Aaron reserved 13 cities by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simon, and Benjamin. The remaining descendants of Kohath received 10 cities by lot from the clans of the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and half the tribe of Manasseh. Gershon's descendants received 13 cities by lot, the clans of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and half the tribe of Manasseh and Bashan. Merari's descendants received 12 cities of their clans from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. The Israelites gave these cities with their pasture lands around them to the Levites by lot, as the Lord had commanded him through Moses. The Israelites gave these cities by name from the tribes of the descendants of Judah and Simon. The descendants of Aaron from the Kohathite clans of Levites, because they received the first lot. They gave them Kiriath-Arba with its surrounding pasture lands, the hill country of Judah. But they gave the fields and settlements of the city to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possessions. They gave it to the descendants of the priest Aaron. Hebron, the city of the refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands. Libanot with its pasture lands. Jahar with its pasture lands. Eshanmama with its pasture lands. Holon with its pasture lands. Deber with its pasture lands. Aim with its pasture lands. Judah with its pasture land. And Beth Shemesh with pasture lands. 9 cities from these 2 tribes. Then the tribe of Benjamin they gave Gibeon with pasture lands, Geba with its pasture lands, Anahath with its pasture lands, and Alam with its pasture lands. 4 cities, all 13 cities with their pasture lands, were for the priests, the descendants of Aaron. They allotted cities to the remaining clans of Kohath's descendants, who were Levites, came from the tribe of Ephraim. The Israelites gave them Shechem, the city of refuge of one who commits manslaughter, with his pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with his pasture lands, Kibazam with his pasture lands, and Beth-Horon with his pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Dan they gave Elki with his pasture lands, Gibbethon with his pasture lands, Alajon with its pasture lands, and Goth-Rimmon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From half the tribe of Manasseh they gave Tananach with its pasture lands, and Gatherim with his pasture lands, whose cities, all 10 cities of the pasture lands, were the clans of Caleb's other descendants. From half the tribe of Manasseh, they gave the descendants of Gershon, who were the one of the Levite clans, Golan, the city of refuge, and who commits manslaughter, with his pasture land of Bashan, and Bishtarah, and its pasture lands, 2 cities. From the tribe of Issachar, they gave Kishion with its pasture lands, Deborah with its pasture lands, Jarmuth with its pasture lands, and Egalim with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Asher, they gave Mishal with its pasture lands, Abdon with his pasture lands, Helicon with his pasture lands, and Rehob with his pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Naphtali, they gave Kadesh and Gali, the city of refuge, for one who commits manslaughter, with his pasture lands, Hamarath the door with the pasture lands, and Carton with its pasture lands, 3 cities. All 13 cities of the pasture lands for the Gershonites by their clans. From the tribe of Zebulun, they gave the clan of descendants of Merari, who were the remaining Levites, Jochanim with his pasture lands, Kardath with his pasture lands, Dimonah with his pasture lands, and Nahalel with his pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Reuben, they gave Bezar with his pasture lands, Jahzah with his pasture lands, Kedemoth with his pasture lands, and Metharath with his pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Gad, they gave Ramoth and Galad, the city of refuge, for the one who commits manslaughter, with his pasture lands, Mananam with his pasture lands, Heshbon with his pasture lands, and Jazer with his pasture lands, 4 cities in all. All 12 cities were allotted in the clans of Merari's descendants, the remaining Levite clans. Within the Israelites' possession, there were 48 cities, all with pasture lands for the Levites. Each of these cities had its own surrounding pasture lands. This was the trust for all the cities. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give his ancestors, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them the rest on the state according to all he had sworn to their ancestors. None of their enemies were able to stand against them, for the Lord handed over all their enemies to them. None of the good promises the Lord had made to the house of Israel failed. Everything was fulfilled. Okay, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 65. May you have a blessed day.